All right, YouTube, this is 2cent back with my 2 cents on Echoes of Mana. This time we are going to come in here and we're going to take a look at our boy Kevin. And I'll tell you what, I know you guys have seen a poll video from me, and I know that poll video ended with me at 140 polls. Let me tell you, I might have went the rest of the way, and I ended up getting one more Kevin and pitying the last one. The saddest thing about it is I didn't get a single of the 4-star memory gem that's on the banner. And you know what? That's just how it goes sometimes. I'm just glad that within 200 polls, with the pity, I was able to max him out. And I know, guys, this is going to seem like pretty untenable. It's not going to be something that we're going to be able to do very often. Aside from spending money on the game, you're just probably not going to see this very much. And I get that. I hear ya. I've done 400 total polls in this game. That's 40 multis. And I'm going to tell you, I did have to spend a little bit to get that, but I'm not in like well territory, but I am at this point in a light spender. So I totally get if sometimes these sort of things aren't going to translate down real well to the free to play community. But I am going to tell you this: there's no difference in the sort of gear that you're going to use on a 1-star Kevin versus a maxed unleashed Kevin. So let me kind of just start there with some of my thoughts. So as you can see right here, I have on the equips the Valcina set. And this was really kind of easy for me to kind of have on hand because I just outkitted my Reese with the new wind damage set. And that armor needed to go somewhere, and she was wearing the strength set, and so it just got shifted over here to the boy Kevin. And it's actually working pretty nicely for him, and I think this is definitely going to be the number one set you're going to want on him. But depending on the substats, if you have a good Minnow set or Mino set, the con buff set, if you got better substats on that, I actually think go ahead and run that. And I'm going to tell you why I think that Kevin is actually going to be much better as an AI unit than what I had initially thought in my first looking at his kit video. That's still yet to be seen, but bear with me. We'll kind of get through what I'm kind of thinking here. On his right side of his gears, I'm currently using this MP set. It's just because it's the only dang thing I've farmed. I haven't spent enough time in the Wiseman kind of rooms to kind of really get to work on that because I haven't really been using any intellect characters. And so I've like, I'm not going to farm it just, for one thing. And I wasn't in need of getting the spirit up on the other one, so I've been just utilizing my blue energy for other things. Let's just put it that way. But I think that's going to change, and I'll tell you why. I do have Chrism Wizard, so getting intellect set for him is not going to be a bad thing. That'll be great, and I can at least prepare for any other unit in the future that I decide to get. I also picked up one Angela during my polls for Kevin, so I kind of have something to work with there. Now, the next thing about it is I really think the Ivory set, that Spirit Up set for the right-hand side, is really going to be Kevin's best in slot armor on that side. And this is all based off the one skill that he has here called Moonlight Protection. It gives at max unleash 40% con buff and 40% spirit buff for a whole minute. And I think this is just while running him on AI, so you're not worried, you're not able to like dodge things. It's just made him so like tanky to be able to run up there, and it's been really nice for my farming. All I have to say is I've had to pay less attention to him running on auto than I pay attention to my Reese, who has to run on auto. And part of that, I think, is really just centered around this buff. And in my head, I was like, oh, well, Reese might be able to do it faster because she has this buff that's going to have, increase her strength, and so she's going to hit harder. And yeah, right now my Reese probably does hit a little bit harder. She has more, some of the best gear that I have farmed, and I'm still working on tailoring the right pieces here for Kevin. But with his ST giving him his special technique, giving him a strength buff, and him having it at the start of the stage, and then also getting his own dark damage buff. Yeah, this is making up for those differences in the gear, and I have just been really pleased with seeing this as a unit that I'm just going to leave on AI, who's going to be my first unit out, sort of a thing. And I really do think that in a lot of ways he's kind of taken over my Reese a little bit. And it's a little too early to say that I'm making some sort of tier list about which unit's better here, but I do know as I have both at Max Unleashed, and uh, when I'm just kind of running the game, just letting it plague, using my energy up, doing my farming, I've been having Kevin out. I just feel more comfortable. When I look down and whatnot, I'm saying, oh, okay, well, he's still alive at the end of the stage. That's great. And I really think those are the kind of units we're really going to be kind of wanting as we get further along here. Is just ones that we can kind of set and forget a little bit as we're doing some of the more just day-to-day farming for whether it be gear or, lucre or just, throwing away our yellow stamina on the story missions just for some extra materials. I think those sorts of things are going to kind of matter. And not all the time are you going to want to have to play in manual or kind of, monitor your units just to make sure that they didn't die. I know, what was it, a couple days ago, I wasn't paying attention. I ended up dying in a stage, and then I went, oh, I better hit retry. And right when I was about to hit retry, I ended up that pop-up screen, that tells you, do you want to go like optimize your characters and or something like that. And I accidentally clicked that instead of retry, so I got kicked out. So then I lost my energy because I didn't, click retry, and that was kind of frustrating. I'll tell you that, but. Anyhow, I won't make this any longer than it needs to be. I'm just saying I do like Kevin. I think he's doing pretty good as far as the AI is concerned. And if you're looking to build them, that's the sets that I would start with. And that's been my 2 cents.